This video is for someone who has fallen completely behind on cleaning, and every day that passes you feel a little bit more and more overwhelmed, defeated, and like there is no end in sight and have no idea where to get started. I have been there far too many times before, so I understand the exact feeling that you might be feeling right now. I've been criticized, judged, accused of being lazy on more times than once whenever my house becomes this bad of a disaster. So this video is for those who are doing the best they can and know that they don't need to have everything absolutely perfect, because that is definitely not real life and that is definitely not very fun. My name is Michelle and I'm a mom of 2 toddlers, and what I decided to do was put together some of my most disastrous videos over the last year so that it will just give you a glimpse into sometimes what my house can become and give you the boost of motivation to get up and get it done. I know that when you fall so far behind, the hardest thing is actually getting up and getting started. This video has about 2.5 hours of extreme motivation to help you get up and get started. You don't have to feel alone or embarrassed, because throughout these videos you will just get a glimpse of how bad it gets sometimes. And regardless of what anyone says, it does not make you lazy or a bad person whenever things do fall behind. What we can do is just pick up the pieces and just start fresh with a new mindset, a new attitude, and take that first step into getting it done. I personally have a love-hate relationship with cleaning, and as you can see, sometimes I don't always prioritize it as the very first thing. But what I do hope that you gain throughout these videos is inspiration in any way, shape, or form. I really do provide all types of motivation throughout my videos, so I would really love it for you to subscribe and join this amazing community. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. You can either sit back and watch these wild cleaning videos, or you can join me and clean along with me for the next 2.5 hours. So let's get started.
Baby, you're so hasty. I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat, yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Yeah, now, no, it's no more, no. I got so high on a low, that's when I loved you the most. Now I thought I should let you know. Yeah, now, no, it's no more, no. I really thought
Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. If you haven't already noticed, in today's video it is a huge complete disaster. I am embarrassed to say that this is probably the dirtiest our house has ever been. I have no excuse really why it is this bad, except that I am just a busy mom and things just fell apart, it seems like in the blink of an eye. But I'm here now. I'm going to tackle all the mess in the majority of our house, and I hope that you either decide to clean along with me, or you can just get satisfied watching me do all the dirty work. If this is your first time here, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Michelle. I'm a mom of 2 small girls, Sailor and Savannah, who are 3 and 1. So if you can't tell, they contribute a lot to this mess. You'll also see them help, and I say help with parentheses. You'll often see them help me a little bit throughout my videos. I do work full-time from home, but if you enjoy cleaning and organizing content and all kinds of motivation, then I really hope that you'll subscribe to my channel. But if you've never introduced yourself before, then go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know where you're from, what you do, anything about you. I love getting to know my subscribers. But I'm going to go ahead and get started in the living room, and I do have my little assistants helping me pick up some of their toys.
moving like the river goes. Baby going down, down, down. Baby going down, 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 down. make you think.
So I started this cleanup on a Sunday morning, and it actually takes me a couple of days to get through the whole house to see it clean like you did earlier in the video. And we had some company over the night before. I woke up early and started doing some editing, and before you know it, the house was, well, it was already a mess before I even started, but it just turned into a complete disaster whenever I was done. So basically this mess just accumulated over the whole weekend. And of course I'm moving my husband's shoes, and there's Play-Doh all on the bottom of them. And I don't know if he even realized it, but I will have to try and get that out later.
You know we should work it out. Before I'm too invested, I should probably ask you all my questions, get to know you better.
Our couch is so dirty. Actually, in my last cleaning video, I had vacuumed up all the dog hair, and I said, it is so dirty, I need to clean it, and I didn't show it on camera because it's so bad. So I just decided that I'm going to take all of the cushions off the couch and wash them. I don't like doing this process. It takes forever, and it actually even took me a day before I even put the cushions back on the couch. I pulled this pillow back and freaked out. I saw this huge spot and I had no idea what it was. And turns out it was the leaf from the top of a strawberry. I had a horror story. The last time I pulled off all of the cushions from our couch, I told you guys that there was like a stain on my couch because we had a mouse in our house one time, and the way that I discovered the mouse was that there was poop. When I lifted up the covers, there was poop dropping in the couch. Like, that is so disgusting. And I had so many of y'all's comments that were your stories from whenever y'all had a mouse in your house. So later on, I'm going to just share some of those stories because you guys had me cracking up at some of these.
Maybe we could test this and work out.
And of course I go in to switch the laundry and the dryer is full. I hate that when the washer and dryer are both full and you have a ton of laundry to do. I'm switching over my husband's clothes into the dryer so that I can put the cushions in the washing machine, and I see this pin in there, this blue pin, and I'm kind of looking at some of the shirts because I'm like, you know what happens when you put a pin in the washing machine, but I didn't see anything on the shirt, so I just quickly put it in the dryer so that I could get all of these cushions in. And I shoved these cushions in there. I should have done 2 loads. I usually do. I think I was just in a hurry to try and get everything in there. I used just a capful of that Glamorous wash because it makes them smell so nice when they come out.
All my questions, get to know you better. How can you be trusted? Will you take me for granted? Will you let me down? Before I'm too invested, you should take it easy. Maybe we could test this.
Now I'm just going through and vacuuming up the couch. What I've noticed some other people do is they will get the attachment of their Bissell carpet shampooer and use that and actually just shampoo the outside cushions of their couch. But our couch cushions are, I think, made of like duck feather or some type of feather, so we don't want to actually get all of that wet. So that's why I have to take the cushions off and wash them, even though it is such a pain to get them back on. But I have used before and do use the Bissell shampooer attachment to try and shampoo the sides of the couch.
This is nothing in real life, it might just have been a bad dream. You can run, you can hide, but you can't put the me.
Now that I have all of the cushions in the washing machine, I can try and put all of the pillows back on the couch and wait for those to wash and dry, and then I'm going to try and pick up the rest of the downstairs. We have some toys that we keep underneath the TV and we have the kids play with them downstairs and we rotate them out. But all the other toys that go upstairs, I usually just pick up everything and then just go carry it by the stairs.
Back to life, I apologize. Too soon to say I'm fine. Too soon to say I'm fine. Oh, I don't know what to say, what to do, how to make you see. This is nothing to real life, it might just have been a bad dream. You can run, you can hide, but you can't put the blame on me. Because you're acting like a volcano, tending to be my savior. Nothing you do can save us, save us. Because you're acting like a volcano and make me feel outrageous. You keep teasing.
This video was initially going to be a deep clean, and here I am trying to unlatch the couch so that I can pull it out, and I cannot get it. Without my husband there, I couldn't get it, and that's at that exact point I said, I'm not doing a deep clean video. I have to at least reach the surface before I can do any deep cleaning. And what I mean by reach the surface is I need to be able to see the floors first before I can even clean them. That's at the point of disaster we were at. So you can probably take a guess on what next week's video is going to be on. I actually have a ton of new products that I'm going to be trying out, all from subscriber recommendations. The rest of those products are coming in, so next week will be a deep clean.
So why we dragging out when we've been doing everything we could? I don't wanna feel so lonely tonight. Every time we spend time, I wanna do this for the last time. I don't need it, no, I don't need it, no. Don't need you here to feel alright. It's crazy how we started off so good. Every single hour with you vanished just like that. But now it feels like I've been trapped, and I can't believe how you don't see it now. Hey, just hear me out. It's been a while since we were good. So why we dragging out when we've been doing everything we could? I don't wanna feel so lonely tonight. Every time we spend time, I wanna do this for the last time. I don't need it, no, I don't need it, no. Don't need you here to feel alright.
Now I'm going to try and get this Play-Doh off of my husband's shoes. I thought that it would just peel off, so I'm sitting there trying to get it off with my nail, and it is hard. It is like stuck on there. So I pull out the knife, I'm trying to scrape it off, and I'm about to give up and just be like, you know, too bad, you're gonna have to try and figure this out. But I just keep scrubbing, and ultimately I ended up getting most of it out.
The way you comfort me. Still
When I was done, I had put them in the garage to dry, and that evening he put his shoes on and was like, why are my shoes all wet? And I told him I had cleaned them because they had Play-Doh on them, and he thought the girls had put them in the bathtub. Now I'm just gonna start putting stuff away, and I'm cleaning out the diaper bag, and I reach in and there is an old banana stuck in the pocket of the diaper bag. I actually remember opening up this banana the day before for Savannah because she loves bananas and she didn't want to eat it, so we were not close to a trash can, so I stuck it upward thinking that I would remember it, but obviously I did not, and it got that mushiness everywhere. And if you're new here, you'll slowly start to notice that I have several, I just call them Michelle moments, because there are so many times where I'm just so busy. I do not think and just do things, and then I come back and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And that was one of them. A couple of y'all have asked me why I don't use microfiber towels and why do I use so many paper towels? And I was like, I don't know. I think I have microfiber towels. So I went and grabbed them and I start wiping this counter down, and I'm thinking this is not really rubbing that smoothly. It's kind of not working. And I look at it and it says that it's an electronics microfiber cloth. I have no idea where that came from, but I guess I could have still used it, but it just didn't clean as smoothly. So I went and got another one, and the blue one is so much better. The reason why I didn't use them before was because I just didn't I had the thought that I was just cleaning counters with a dirty rag, but I know microfiber cloths are easily absorb and are made for that and everything. So thank you for those that recommended it. Now I can save way more on paper towels. I'm still using the Branch Basics cleaner, which is a non-toxic, all-natural brand. I really do like it. I did get a couple recommendations, which I will also be trying out next week. I wanted to mention one thing about subscribing. Whenever I first started watching videos, I used to watch Erin Williams, and she would always say, hey, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. And I would think, I don't want to join a subscription service or anything like that. And I just wanted to clarify, in case you kind of had the same thought as me. On your YouTube account, subscribing, all that means is that you will possibly see my videos pop up more, or you can go to your current subscribers and you can find my videos a lot more easier. And hitting the bell notification will just let you know that I released a new video. So if you are interested in subscribing, it's free. You have no obligation to do anything else, but just be aware that a new video is out. And a clean kitchen is the best feeling in the world. Now that that is clean, I'm going to switch over the laundry. I'm going to take all of my husband's clothes out and then switch the cushion covers into the dryer. I typically have to put those on a very delicate cycle, so that tends to take twice as long as it would a normal load. And I had to break those out into 2 loads because after one cycle, it still wasn't dry enough.
Spinning like a broken record. For a player, you don't know that many major chords. We hang out and then you get bored, and you leave me here.
The last thing that I'm going to do on this day, which is Sunday, is to pick up the rest of the blankets and clothes and everything that's in the living room. I'm going to wait for those cushions to dry, and I am just going to vacuum up a little bit. I decided not to do the Tyneco vacuum mop only because we're kind of in a hurry. We're actually going somewhere that afternoon, and it takes a little while to clean and get all the pieces clean. So I just decided to use the Dyson and do a quick vacuum.
Tell your friends I will be just fine. Don't need no therapist. There's nothing like wine.
So later that night, this pile is still on the bed, and I've mentioned before that my husband does his own laundry, and I saw on Jamie's journey her husband was helping her do her laundry, and I told Chris, my husband, I said, hey, you're gonna have to come in my video and step up your game if you're going to be a cleaning YouTube husband. He just laughed, but here he is. He's helping me clean and he's doing his own laundry, and I'm actually glad he is, because the first piece of laundry he pulled up, he was like, what happened to my pants? That blue pen had leaked all over his pants. I was sitting there looking at his shirts and I didn't see anything. So I was like, okay, maybe it didn't leak. But come to find out, it did leak all over his jeans. But this is simply just one reason why he does his own laundry. Because I go, you put those clothes in there, right? And he said, yeah. So I was like, okay, thank God. Because now you can't blame that on me. But they were just like yard work jeans. So no further damage was done on the clothes. But this is Chris, my husband. You may have seen him here and there on some of my videos. We met through friends and we were married in September of 2013. So this September will be 8 years. But he is super outdoorsy, very hardworking, and the one that I got mad at when he cleaned the laundry room. Now you totally have to watch my messy house transformation video to get that statement. I'll link that one down below if you haven't seen it. Now I'm just going to pick up and vacuum a little bit of the toys and some of the dust that was behind there, and then I will pick back up in the bedroom the next day.
Next to me, the silence souvenir, letting you go.
So now it is the next day. I'm going to make our bed and clean up a little bit more in our bedroom. I have said this before, but it's been a while. So our bedroom is miscolored because we started painting it back last year in quarantine. So last summer, I decided that I wanted to make over the bedroom and do all this stuff. And this was right before I started my YouTube channel. So we picked out some paint and then I actually bought wallpaper to put behind the back wall. And then I just kept changing my mind. I didn't know if I liked it. I didn't know what color curtains I wanted. I ordered wallpaper that was on back order. I returned the one they sent wrong. I finally got it in, and then now I'm not 100% sure that I want to put it back there. So it's been almost a year and our room still looks crazy. So I told Chris literally yesterday, I said, I keep telling people that our room is under construction because we are doing all this stuff to it, and I have no idea what I want to do, but we need to go ahead and make that a priority because I'm filming it and it's so embarrassing every time I watch myself clean the room. It is so embarrassing to look at. So in the next, hopefully month or two, I've ordered some things that are coming in and I am just going to go simple and I'm finally going to finish this room. So leave me a comment below and let me know, how long has it taken you to ever finish a home project? We are almost at a year for this one. So let me know what is the longest time it's ever taken you to start and finish a project.
Baby, we can do this all night. Keep on second guessing our love, oh love. I don't really care if you don't mind. Baby, we can do this all night. We can do it all night. We can do it all night. Baby, won't you hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. The closer I get, the further you go. I wanna know if I walk away, do you wanna get close? Do you wanna get close? Baby, we can do this all night. Keep on second guessing our love, oh no. I don't really care if you don't mind, don't mind. Baby, we can do this all.
So a couple of the funny mice stories that you guys had commented in one of my videos was, one person said that they had their bike helmet downstairs in the basement, and one day they went to get out their bike to ride it, and they flipped their helmet over their head and there was like mice poop all in it. Another one of y'all said that y'all were from Australia, and currently in Australia there was a mice infestation and that you had already caught 6 in your house already, which is just crazy to me. Another story was that one of you guys had found a mice on your ceiling fan. I know I would be so terrified. And I remember my favorite story that somebody said was that they had bought this rubber mouse for their cat, and their cat would often like play with it at night. And if I remember correctly, they had gotten up in the middle of the night because the cat was like making weird sounds or whatever, and the cat was playing with the mouse, and they went to grab the mouse out of the cat's hand, and it was a real mouse. And then she said, I will not be buying any fake mice for my cat to play with anymore. So I totally get it, y'all. I think we actually have more mice outside in the backyard, so I'm worried that they'll somehow find a way back in our house. But I do read all of y'all's stories. I think they just make my day. They are so funny sometimes, or they are just so sweet and kind. So don't be afraid to leave me your story, because I love going through and reading them. So I bought these containers a long time ago, and they have just been in our bedroom because I was trying to add them to our garage organization video, but that video is just taking me too long to film. I have over 7 hours of footage for that video, but I promise I will get to it soon. So I decided to just go ahead and pull these out. So basically the refrigerator in our garage is for drinks only, and I drink a lot of LaCroix waters. I like that brand, and I like flavored water. It's just something easy to grab. So I bought these from Amazon, and it's just, it comes in a pack of 6. So I'm just using it to store our drinks.
Making it brighter right through the gray.
And this is my last day of cleaning. I'm going to tackle all of the toys on the stairs and go upstairs and declutter the playroom. I mentioned a story in one of my videos where my husband had cleaned up the laundry room a little bit and said that it was just too embarrassing to show on camera. And I came back and asked all of y'all, I said, is your house always clean all the time, or does it get messy? And so many of you guys were like, no, I clean my house daily. And I'm just reading through these comments going, okay, way to make me feel bad. And I'm kidding, but in all honesty, I did used to be really, really crazy about cleaning. Before kids, if the house wasn't clean, then I would have major anxiety. I would stay up late and make sure everything was clean, or else I couldn't go to bed. All the dishes had to be out of the sink. And there were even times where if I had people coming over to our house, and let's say that they came over like a half an hour or 10 minutes early, and I wasn't done cleaning or making sure the floors were mopped, I would make our company wait outside and say, I'm sorry, but I'm not done mopping. You're not allowed to come inside. Like, that's how crazy I was about my house being clean. So I do understand it feels amazing to have a clean house. I think more importantly, it just feels like you don't have all this stuff to do. That's how I feel, is that if I don't have it clean that day, then it feels like I have all of this stuff to do the next day. But over the last couple of years, I've slowly stopped making having my house like spotless clean a major priority, and started just focusing on other things that were more of a priority. And let me tell you, my anxiety has gotten so much better, because sometimes cleaning to me, I wouldn't say it's relaxing. There's nothing relaxing about what's going on right now, but it's just a kind of a place where I can clear my mind. I can have some time to think. I can listen to a podcast. I can just listen to some music and just kind of get it done. But I have to be in the right mindset. So if it's midnight and the dishes aren't done and I am so tired, exhausted, I know that I can do it tomorrow when I'm in the right mindset and not stress about it like I used to. Because at that time, sleep is more of a priority to me than the dishes sitting in the sink. And I totally respect that maybe not everybody will agree with that, which is why you see my house gets pretty dirty quite often is because I don't always pick up everything that same day or the night before. I do try and keep it manageable. This is obviously beyond out of control, but at least I can set up some time where I can just focus on it. I time block, so this doesn't stress me out at the time because I am already aware of what I'm doing, and I can put on some good music, jam out, and just get it done when I'm in the right mindset. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what y'all all like to do while you're cleaning. Do you like to listen to music? Do you like to listen to a podcast? Do you like to watch cleaning videos? Leave me a comment and let me know.
I had to convince my friends this time. Think you're toxic to my mind, but I know they don't know what you're all about. The way you hold my body tight, staying up talking through the night. Yeah, I know they just don't. With us it's all or nothing. Ooh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you just.
So about 6 months ago, I did a massive playroom organization. That was like my first huge project, and I did a video on that. I'll link that down below. But I also, when I did that video, I looked at like tips for kids, and one of the things that they recommended was when you have a puzzle, then to keep the puzzle pieces undone, so keep them not put together like I just did there, and that will encourage them to solve the puzzle. But if the puzzle is already solved, then it doesn't encourage them to try and solve it themselves. So you're just supposed to keep them a little bit scattered on the puzzle, which I'm actually thinking about that while I was putting that puzzle piece together. But next time I will remember that tip and then go back and make sure that the puzzle pieces are undone. That way it'll encourage them to solve them.
With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you just leave. With us it's all or nothing. With us it's all or nothing. Ooh, but guess I need.
A lot of the organizing stuff that I used in this room are from IKEA. So that little shelf that I am organizing there is from IKEA, as well as the 3-tier tray that I have all of the art supplies on.
How did we end up here in the corner, looking like enemies? We used to be the team people talk about, what a chemistry.
I made a small pile for the stuff that goes back downstairs. We have a little kitchen that right now is still kind of in our dining room area. So I'm going to pick up all of the stuff that goes in that little kitchen and put it back. In another video that I did a few months ago, I had actually bought these clear plastic bins to put in all of the play kitchen stuff. So right there is where I'm using them. And in that video, I was doing some extreme organizing. So I was getting all of the toys, all the plastic forks would go in one bin, all the plastic little cups would go in one bin. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is what all of my subscribers want to see. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to manage keeping this play kitchen that organized. And thankfully, I got so many comments from y'all saying, it does not need to be that organized. You're going to go drive yourself crazy trying to keep everything this organized. How you have had kids in the past, maybe you're a grandparent now, and that is just not worth it. So thank you guys for easing my mind and just letting me know that it's okay to just put the toys back in the little kitchen and then put the kitchen away. That doesn't need to be extremely organized.
You don't wanna talk anymore. I wanna get so numb, we'll be enemies. No, you don't mind the way I spell my words. You know exactly what it means and how it hurts.
Having all of this clean feels so good. Now if I can only get them to not play in here for the next month, that would be perfect. I'm joking, obviously, but the last thing that I'm going to do is vacuum up the stairs.
'Cause when you get too close, I lose my way and I freeze. I wish you knew what power you have.
But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video and got tons of inspiration and motivation. Now I can start prepping for next week's video, which is a deep clean. And if you want to stick around for that, then make sure that you're subscribed and you click that bell notification so that you get notified when I release a new video. Now, if you want to stick around for another minute, I do have some bloopers that you won't want to miss.
I just wanna get out of here. I find it so hard to breathe.
It's time for everybody to help clean up because I didn't make this mess. We got all that mess over there. Now we got to pick up all of this mess, huh? Savannah. No, don't break that. Savannah, come help pick up.
Friday nights need you do. That's whoa.
Did you find a pin in there?
Yeah. I did find a pin.
Savannah make the big brown mess.
Oh, Savannah made the mess?
Yeah.
Not you?
I got this feeling like it's starting now, starting now. I feel adventurous with you. And there is nothing that can hold us back, hold us back. We can do what we wanna do. 'Cause we got all the time in the world. For better or worse, we should stay together. So let's stay young and in love. We should focus on us forever. Yeah, baby, if you are feeling like I do, we could run away across the ocean. Baby, what you say? We can leave today. Anywhere we'll go, we'll be alright. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you.
Let's just point out the obvious. My house is a complete disaster. I spent 5 days prepping for this party, and now I'm going to spend the next 5 days cleaning it up. If you have been here before, then welcome back to my channel. This is a continuation from last week. And if this is your very first time here, welcome. I am so glad that you clicked on this video to get some major inspiration and motivation from a complete disaster home. If you haven't seen last week's video, then I'll link it down below and I'll encourage you to check it out. Basically, it was my daughter's second birthday. We had a Moana themed party and they had an absolute blast and a great time. And it took me about 5 days to party prep and get everything completely finished, and now we are cleaning up after. We had people over pretty much all day and into the night, so this was over the course of a full day where the mess was made. So not only is this a complete disaster cleanup, but it is a complete disaster whole house clean, including the outside. Cleaning up everything in one day is just not realistic for me, so I'm going to take you along my journey. It takes me about 5 days to get the entire house cleaned up. Some days I do a lot more than others, but my goal is to do a little bit each day. But my name is Michelle, and I have 2 small girls, Sailor, who is 3.5, and Savannah, who just turned 2. And my goal is to remind you that it doesn't matter how big, small, beautiful, nice, or messy your house may get. It's to remind you that we all deal with similar struggles. And at the end of the day, it's not about how perfect of a job you did or who got more done. It's about normalizing what real life is and encouraging you that it's okay to take it one step or day at a time. I want to motivate you, but also know that it's okay to have a little fun, and sometimes the mess just comes along with it. As I get started here in the kitchen, I really hope that you will subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this kind of content and motivation.
But it felt like the end of myself.
One thing I have to do while starting a big cleanup is keep the girls distracted, and they got into the kinetic sand, and I know that this will turn into a disaster later on, but for now my goal is to get the whole kitchen cleaned up, and then I will just worry about that later. Maybe you can relate, but sometimes as a mom of really small kids, it's just about jumping from one mess to the next, and nothing is ever 100% cleaned at one time, especially while the family is still at home. So the kinetic sand has already moved its way from the white table to the living room rug, and I told them they were not supposed to play with it on the living room rug, but that is just something that I will have to worry about a little bit later. So I am not a big fan of kinetic sand because of the mess, but you guys let me know, what is one thing that your child has made a mess of while you were trying to clean up something else? For me, along with the kinetic sand disaster in last week's video, whenever we were working on redoing our master bedroom, Sailor had some chocolate milk and she spilt it all over the rug. So I did clean that up in last week's video. But you guys, leave me a comment below and let me know, because I really like to share y'all's funny stories in my videos. Typically, whenever we host a party, which hosting a party and doing all of this is one of my favorite things to do, it does become stressful, but I just enjoy doing it. That's why I go all out. I like doing party planning. I'm not a pro or anything. It's just kind of a hobby that I like doing. So that's why it's kind of extreme for a 2-year-old birthday party. But one really fun thing is to make these little watermelon boats. Because we had a Moana themed, we just carved out the watermelon, and then you just cut up fruit and fill it with it, and it becomes a super cute, inexpensive idea for any type of party.
You know that I'ma keep it cool. With you I feel like breaking rules. On the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming about us too, playing around without a clue. On the edge, leaning out. With us it's all or nothing. Ooh, but guess I need more of you.
So after I picked up most of the dishes in the kitchen, it was really bothering me, and I just wanted to get all of the sand out of the living room. So I just start picking it up and putting it away so they can't play with it anymore before I move on to finishing up the kitchen.
With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you're asleep. I had to convince my friends this time. Think you're toxic to my mind, but I know they don't know what you're all about. The way you hold my body tight, staying up talking through the night. Yeah, I know they just don't. With us it's all or nothing. Ooh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need.
So I have a question to ask you guys. We typically recycle all of our extra plastic containers because once I did a Tupperware clean out, I decided that I'm not keeping like extra containers that we're not going to use. And before, whenever I would recycle, I would not clean out the containers before I put it in the recycle. And then someone told me that you have to clean out the containers, that way they're able to recycle it better. So I was wondering, what do you guys do? Do you, whenever you have something that's recyclable, do you just throw it away, or do you be sure to clean it out and make sure that it's clean before you put it in the recycle bin? Leave me a comment below and let me know what all of y'all do.
Why don't you stay? Why don't we talk about this? With us it's all or nothing. Ooh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say you're doing right, but in the morning you just sleep. With us it's all or nothing. With us it's all or nothing. Ooh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say you're doing right, but in the morning you just leave. With us it's all or nothing. I can taste your words. I can taste your I can taste your words. I can taste your I can taste your words. I can taste.
So in last week's video, I asked you guys a series of questions about me, and I said that whoever got them all 5 questions correct would win like a Venmo $25. And up to this point, no one has guessed all 5 correct answers. There were so many of y'all that were so close, only off by 1. And the thing is that some of the questions I've answered or have mentioned before in an Instagram, and then some of them in YouTube. So that's why you may not know 100% all of them, but I'll go ahead and give you guys the answer. So the first question was, how old am I? I gave you guys 3 options, which were 29, 31, and 33. And the correct answer is 33. I mentioned that in a video before, but it has been a little while. The next question was, what am I most scared of? And I gave you guys 3 options, which were sharks, alligators, and bears. And most of you guys actually guessed alligators, but the correct answer is sharks. And I mentioned that in one of my Instagram stories because I was watching Shark Week. If you're not familiar with Shark Week, it is on the Discovery Channel in the US. And I was just talking about how intrigued I am with shark attacks, even though that's kind of strange, interesting, and really scary. So I gave you a story about one time on our honeymoon, we were paddleboarding in St. Croix, and I kept looking down and seeing all of these shadows, and I told the instructor, I was like, there are sharks in the water and I need to go back. And I was almost having a panic attack, and he kept looking down, and it was like, no, that's the shadow to your paddleboard. And I would have to go back and double check because he did tell us that sometimes hammerhead sharks are in the area. So I was just freaked out the whole time. And ever since then, and constantly watching Shark Week, I have been scared of sharks. Next question was, what is one place that I traveled to every year? And I gave you guys 3 choices. I said a beach in Mexico, Disneyland in California, or Disney World in Florida. And the correct answer is we go to Disney World in Florida every year. I absolutely love the blue beaches in Mexico, but it has been a little while since I've been there, and I have never been to Disneyland in California. We just went to Disney World in April, and I did a video right after talking about how we love Disney World and we go all the time. And almost one of my very first videos was a Disney vlog. So, yep, Disney World is one of my favorite places to go every year. The fourth question was, what is my favorite holiday? And I gave you 3 choices, which was Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas. And the correct answer is Christmas. I go way all out decorating, like very intense decorating. I enjoy decorating for Christmas. I think just having the Christmas trees looks so beautiful. In our house last year, we had a total of 8 Christmas trees of all different sizes, all decorated, and it's just one of my absolute favorite holidays. And the last question was, what is my favorite type of food? I think I said either Italian, Thai, or Mexican. And that one was probably tricky because I actually don't think I've ever mentioned it before, but the correct answer is Mexican food. I will never turn down a good margarita and some chips and queso. But at the time that I am doing this recording, because no one got it, like I said, most of you guys were off by just one. Then what I'm going to do is just leave me a comment below. Let me know your favorite vacation spot or your favorite place to go. And I will just pick a random winner and send you a message and send you $25 Venmo. But thank you guys for all playing along. I have moved on to picking up the rest of the kinetic sand that made a mess all over the living room, and I am going to just kind of quickly vacuum up all of the floors in the living room. I'm just using the Dyson. If you have been here before, you'll know that I also have the Tyneco, which is a vacuum and mop in one. So it's just called a wet vacuum. I use that pretty often, but if I have a lot of stuff to clean up, like this is pretty heavy duty stuff, then I'll just pull out the Dyson and do a quick vacuum, and then I'll end up mopping another time. I didn't realize it at first, but the girls went into the little nugget, which is that pink couch that I have folded up in the corner, and they start playing in there, and all of a sudden I see the lamp just completely fall over, and I was nervous that I broke it, but obviously it's just going to hit the couch and didn't break. So that kind of scared me there for a moment. It is definitely not uncommon for something to break while I am trying to clean up. So this rug is definitely due for another deep cleaning. As you can see from up close, it is super stained and we always have dog hair all over it. At this point in the morning, I did put a good dent in all of the kitchen cleaning and living room cleaning. So now I'm just going up. This area is right off of the entryway. It leads into the dining room. So we have this little play kitchen in this area, just keeping it downstairs. And I'm just going to try and pick up this area a little bit. The girls are going to come join me and help clean up a little bit. One of my earlier videos, I ordered these bins to put in the kitchen, and I used to think that I needed to have absolutely everything organized, especially if I was going to show it on camera. I thought that it's not motivational, I guess you could say, if it's not almost perfect. So I bought these little bins, and y'all, I organized this kitchen to a T. Like, I put the forks in a little bin, I put the play spoons, the cups, and it just looked amazing. And y'all were like, yeah, that's gonna last you about 5 minutes, and then it's going to become a complete disaster again. You guys were absolutely right, and I realized that it is not that important to keep their kids' toys that organized. Okay, so let me just point this out real quick. So this is the guest bathroom that leads right into the garage, and we had a bunch of drinks and juices in the garage. And again, while I was cleaning up another area of the house, the girls went into the garage and grabbed all these juices and put them into that guest bathroom. So that's why you're probably wondering, why are all of those juices in there? And trust me, I was wondering the exact same thing. So the next evening we are headed out in the backyard, and we are just picking up this area for the birthday party. We have this little blow up water slide, and whenever we have that out, it takes a long time to actually clean up because you have to blow it up, let it dry, and then we will deflate it, and then we might have to blow it back up again so that it's fully dry. And it also just leaves the yard soaking wet. So we typically put all of our blow up pools and everything, we hang them on other furniture like we just did there, so that it would all dry out. I'm also picking up all of the toys that were brought into the little playhouse, and I didn't even notice this until I saw it on camera, but our dog decided to help us out. I'm actually using my e-cloth here, where you just wet it and it's supposed to kill all the germs. I'm not using any product, and I think that the e-cloth works perfectly here. So this evening we just focused on the backyard a little bit. It didn't take too long, but we were exhausted over the last couple of days, so this is just about all we got done that evening. But I will head back outside a little bit later on. I am now on day 3 of cleaning, and today I have a lot to get done. My goal here is to take down and put away all of the decorations finally, to mop all the floors, and then also to finish picking up a little bit outside. It's always a little bittersweet putting away all of the decorations because it takes so long to put out. I always just leave them out for an extra day or two. I think the longest I've ever kept up, for example, my balloon arc, was a week, just because I thought it was so pretty to look at. If you spend a lot of time decorating, or it takes you a lot of time to get a party set up, do you typically wait a few days to pick up all the decorations? Or are you the type of person that doesn't want the clutter, so you pick it up immediately, either that day or shortly that day, the next day? Leave me a comment below and let me know. So it has been a very rainy summer here in Texas, and with all of the rain comes tons of mosquitoes. So when people are in and out, I'm just finding mosquitoes everywhere. And if you are from the humid South, then you know how much of a pain they are. After I took down all of these like tissue type decorations, I thought about keeping them, so I started to pile them up, and then I was just pressing them down because I need to be able to store them. But after I went back and forth and tried to like smush them down, and I tried to open them back up to see if they would look good once they've already been all smushed and then reused, then I decided to just throw them away. They were pretty inexpensive if I ever want to get something else. I got them on Amazon, and I am running out of space to store all of these extra party decorations. The way that we hung this balloon arc up in particular was that we just left an extra balloon tape on the ends, and then we took that balloon tape and then taped it to the actual light. So I know that you can also get string, and then you can string it and pin it or tape it to the wall, but here we ended up taping it to the light. I don't know if that's the best idea, but that's just what's been working for us. So the next thing that I'm going to do is get some scissors, and I'm not actually going to try and pop the balloon. What I do is just make like a little small slit at the very end so that it will let all of the air out, but I'm not necessarily popping them. Whenever you pop them, the balloon pieces just go everywhere and make more of a mess, and it also scares our dog. That's why I'm trying not to pop them.
I'm a ticking time bomb that goes off easily. You always know which buttons you should push, baby. I'm a ticking time bomb that goes off easily, but you're still here with me. We're drawn to each other. We try to break it off, but we return to each other. You're the best bad thing that has happened to me. Yeah, you're the best bad thing that has happened to me. The best bad thing that has happened to me. You're the best bad thing that has happened to me. You're the best,
This makes the cleanup a lot easier because all of the balloons are still connected to the balloon tape, so all I have to do is pile it up, and then it's easier to clean up.
I'm just like night and day, and that is fine by me. 'Cause I wouldn't wanna change a single thing, baby. You're perfect.
As I was picking up, I noticed that the sky is getting very dark and it is about to rain again. So these floats have been sitting out since the day before, and it even starts raining, and I'm trying to get this thing picked up and folded up and put on the patio so that it doesn't get soaking wet again. When it sits on the grass for too long, it starts to kill the grass, but also we need it dry because you cannot fold it up all wet because then it'll start mildewing. But you can see just after a couple of days how all of the water kills the grass, but luckily it comes back pretty fast. And just in the nick of time, I got everything folded and put out of the way before it started to downpour. Moving back inside, and the last thing that I'm going to do this day is mop up all the floors using my Tyneco wet vacuum. I had asked you guys a couple recommendations on whether you like the Cedar Spin Mop or other type of wet vacuum recommendations, and some of you guys said you wanted to try the Bissell Crossweave, which is also a similar vacuum to this. And a couple days ago, I found a YouTube channel here called Vacuum Wars, and what they do is comparison on different types of products. So they'll buy everything and then they'll test it on different types of stains and tell you which one is best for specific purposes. And in one of their videos, they did a direct comparison between this vacuum and the Crossweave. The conclusion that they came out with was that this vacuum, they call it the Tinco. I've been calling it the Tineco, so I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. But they said that this one just had better suction. It did a little bit better pickup. And if you have a larger spill, I think they had vacuumed up some SpaghettiOs. It was a lot easier to clean up compared to the Crossweave. Although they were both very similar and did a really good job, they ultimately gave the award to the Tineco because they said that it was easier to clean and because it could pick up bigger spills, like I mentioned before. So I am glad that I went with this one. And another great thing about this one is that if you have lots of hardwood floors and you're doing like an everyday clean, or I probably do this every few days, just depending on how dirty the floors are, it cuts the time in half if you need to vacuum and mop at the same time. I used to have to always use our cordless vacuum to vacuum first, and then I had a Shark steam mop I would go through and mop over the floors. So because it just took so much time and the amount of floors, hardwood floors that we have downstairs, it took so much time, so I didn't do it very often. But with this, which I think it is 100% worth the money for the space that I have and the use that we use it for, it just makes it so much easier. But check out the channel Vacuum Wars if you're interested or looking at different types of vacuums and not sure which one to get. But after a couple of days, I finally have the downstairs clean. And now I am moving on to day 4, where my main focus is to declutter the upstairs playroom and also pick up the girls' bedrooms. The playroom, in my opinion, is not that dirty. It has definitely been worse before. So the main thing I'm going to do is try and organize it a little bit better. So whenever the kids end up coming over and picking up, they kind of just throw things in different bins, and they're not in the correct bins, I guess you could say. So all the toys that were downstairs, I ended up bringing upstairs, and now I'm just going to kind of declutter and make sure everything is in the right bin.
Be my referee. I will be alright. Never cut it right, but somehow you make me change.
I recently just listened to a really good audiobook that was recommended from my Arbonne team called Atomic Habits by James Cleary. If you struggle with change, either trying to create a new good habit or get rid of an existing bad habit, this book really puts it in perspective to help you adapt to those changes. I wrote down so many notes, but I thought it'd be interesting to share kind of the cliff notes of what I found was really helpful. In his book, he talks about 4 different laws of either creating a good habit or getting rid of a bad habit. And the 4 laws of creating a good habit are to first make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. You can apply these laws for simple habits, like let me make sure that I put my dishes in the dishwasher after I use them, opposed to leaving them in the sink, to something like I want to wake up and make sure that I exercise for 30 minutes a day, every day, or 3 times a week. In order to create a new change, he talks about having to recreate the habits that go around the change. So making a new habit obvious. For example, he talks about habit stacking and writing down what you're going to do. For example, I will blank after I blank. So I will put the dishes in the dishwasher after I'm done rinsing them off. Or he talks about writing down the habit to be more aware. So you could use something like, I will behavior at blank time in blank location. So I will work out at 10 a.m. in my garage. This way you have some type of appointment to do this habit, and it makes it less likely to miss. Next is to make it attractive or reframe the associations you have with that habit. You can create a motivation sequence around it and apply something that you enjoy doing right before the habit. So for example, for me, I like to drink one of my Arbonne Energy Fizzes right before I work out. So once I go and enjoy the drink and enjoy eating and something that I enjoy doing, then right after I'm done, I know that it's time for me to go put on my shoes and work out. The next law is to make it easy. So if your goal is to exercise more or just schedule time to exercise, you don't have to start off being a marathon runner. You can always take baby steps leading up to that. I realize that I apply this rule when I'm cleaning. I always try and start with the easiest thing, the easiest tasks, because that gives me the momentum to then tackle the harder things. An example that he also used was if you are trying to get into a good habit of eating healthier, then meal prep. Make it very easy for you to grab a healthy meal whenever you are trying to do meal prepping and eating healthy, and make it hard if you have a bunch of snacks. Get rid of all those snacks. That makes it a lot harder to grab a snack because they're not available. And the last rule that he mentioned was to make it satisfying. You can join a culture where that desired behavior is the normal behavior. So for example, if you join a workout class, that's what everyone is doing. Or if you like watching cleaning videos because that is the cue that is going to help you get up and get motivated to clean, then also focus on the reward. So for example, exercising is very satisfying for me because I focus on the reward or the energy that I get after I complete a workout. So make the habit satisfying. So those were the 4 laws of habits that I simplified down as best I could. And I thought that it was very helpful to share, especially if you are looking for change or looking for ways to implement change, although it's very uncomfortable at first. If you can follow some of these 4 laws and create habits around positive change, it can really help you accomplish a new goal that you set for yourself.
You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself and the way of how you dwell. I get it. Now I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about your rich friends traveling Mercedes. You're such a nice guy.
I was pretty worn out the day before, so the very last thing that I am going to do in this video is I am just quickly vacuuming up the upstairs, and then I'm going to shampoo it. The reason why I am going to shampoo it is one, because it's been a couple months since I've actually shampooed the upstairs, which is one of the only areas besides our downstairs closet where we have carpet, and because our dog peed up here and also used the restroom. So she is typically really good about going outside, but she doesn't like the rain and thunder. So because it had been raining so much recently, I think that she had just went upstairs and did it. So I'm just going to go ahead and shampoo up here. I'm using the Bissell Pet Pro Pet Revolution shampooer. And I also researched this one on that channel Vacuum Wars that I was talking about. And this one won best shampooer. I think he tested like 5 or 6, and he put a humongous stain on a carpet and drove through. He tried so many different shampooers and drove through, and for the price, this one was the best one, he said. And then the second one he said was the Hoover shampooer, which is one of the most affordable shampooers. And I personally have not tried any other brands. Once we got this one, we were very satisfied with the way that it cleaned. So I haven't tested out any other brands, but I was happy to see that he recommended this one out of all of the others.
You promised me to tell if there's anything haunting you, and you leave me unaware if I might have been hurting you. Whoa. Should I worry that you won't come back, or accept your need time as a fact? My heart is telling me I shouldn't worry and know the truth. Whoa. Yeah, I can never take away our story now.
So now I have finally completed this whole house disaster clean with me. It did take me about 5 days to get it cleaned up, and this is the dirt that pulled out of the shampooer. But thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I hope that you got tons of inspiration and motivation out of this video. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure that you click that like button and you're subscribed so you don't miss out on next week.
You know the drama. You know the drama.
I can already probably guess what you're thinking. If you've been to my channel before, you're probably thinking, okay, Michelle, you've taken this a little too far. If you've never been here before, you're probably thinking, what in the world? This girl is a car hoarder. So in this video, I had to balance it out with a little bit of a home mess, including a massive, complete disaster car mess. I will also be sharing with you the Roborock E5 robot vacuum and mop, as I was super excited to partner with Roborock on this video. I'm going to start today's video kind of picking up and doing a little bit of daily chores in the house, and as you can see, it's not that bad, so I had to just show you proof that I am not a complete hoarder. Once I keep one area somewhat maintained, then the other areas just fall apart. So I'm going to ease you a little bit into the disaster, starting off in the kitchen. And what I really hope that you get out of today's video is not to feel guilty if you have a complete disaster area, whether it be a bedroom in your house or your office or your car. No need to feel embarrassed. It happens to all of us. And I hope in today's video it motivates you to put on the top of your priority list to clean out and declutter that one area that you've been avoiding. My name is Michelle. I'm a mom of 2 toddler girls. I don't hate or love cleaning, but I am going to get it done. And hopefully you will too. So let's get started. I jam-packed the dishwasher so full, and I really only regret doing that when I have to unload it. Since I was already in the groove, I guess you could say, of doing dishes, I decided to just hand wash the rest of the dishes, opposed to waiting for the dishwasher to be done and then putting them in there. Would you guys typically wait until the next cycle to load the dishes and just keep them in the sink, or would you hand wash anything that didn't fit in the dishwasher? Leave me a comment below and let me know. One more thing I forgot to mention, if you are really big on before and after photos, then make sure that you watch the very end of this video. I have some super satisfying before and afters. I've never done anything like this before, but the before and after transformations are extremely big, especially when I'm cleaning out my car. So make sure that you stick to the very end, because that is my favorite part of this whole video. I have been asking you guys a lot of questions in my community tab over the last week, and I just wanted to say if you did see those questions and you had a chance to respond, then thank you very much. I appreciate it. It just gives me a little bit of background on yourself and lets me know what I can help you with. And some of the responses I actually didn't expect. For example, in one of my questions, I asked, what was your relationship with cleaning? And I had 3 different options. One was that I dread it. 2 is I don't hate it or love it, but I do like to have a little bit of motivation. And the 3rd option was I love cleaning, I don't need motivation, and I just watch videos for fun. I surprisingly thought that most people would say that they dread it and basically that they watch cleaning motivation channels because they don't like cleaning and it helps them get motivated. But to my surprise, majority of the people said I don't hate it or love it, but they like the motivation, or that they absolutely love cleaning and they don't need motivation. They just watch for fun. Right now I fall a little bit in the middle where I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But I do like trying new products and completing a big project. So I used to like cleaning a lot when it was more manageable. Like, for example, when it was just Chris and I would just do a little bit each night, and I didn't feel like I was picking up a house full of what seemed like 20 people lived in here. So when it was more manageable, I really enjoyed it. When I became a mom and then had 2 under 2, then Chris started working nights, it just became so unmanageable that I dreaded it. I would have so much to do, and the last thing that I cared about was keeping the house clean. It did bother me, but sleep was more important than worrying about if the dishes were in the sink. It wasn't until I started my channel that I actually started to like cleaning a little bit more. I think watching other moms clean just helps me know that I am doing the best that I can. And also experimenting with new products and trying different ways to organize things, finding different ways to make things more effective. Once I've actually started a lot of these projects, I just look back and say, oh my gosh, I will never go back to how bad it used to be. But all of you guys' answers help me determine how much to focus on the actual motivation part of it, which seems that most of you guys are pretty motivated to get a lot of this stuff done based on your responses, or how much to focus on more of like new products and new ideas and just having fun with it. But if you are struggling with motivation to clean, one thing that I read is have your action dictate your feelings instead of having your feeling dictate your actions. What that means is once you just get up and start cleaning, focus on how much better you're going to feel afterwards, as opposed to thinking to yourself, I don't feel like doing it now, so therefore I'm not going to take the action to do it. So if you're not feeling very motivated to get up and do something today, then switch your thought really quick. Take that quick little action to switch your thought and get up and get it done. And then let me know in the comments what you plan to get done.
All this time, I've been feeling hopeless till you came around, came around. All this time, you're the only reason I'm not chasing highs, chasing highs. What is love? Lately I've been wondering just what is love, what is love? I don't know, no one ever showed me I've been on my own for too long. But if you hold me now, let me into your heart, maybe I can start to love again and tend to my scars. Can you show me how? Can you love me with all you've got? 'Cause I'm coming alive. I just wanna come alive.
When I do a cleanup of the downstairs, I just initially throw everything on the stairs, and then I've been using this cardboard box kind of as a basket, I guess you can say, to put everything up there and then take it all upstairs at once. I just wanted to share with you guys the Roborock E5 vacuum and mop. Roborock vacuum is a smart vacuum, so you can connect it to any of your Amazon devices and also have route planning so that you can control where you want it to go and where you don't want it to go, like for example in the shower or anywhere you don't want it to clean. Once I received the vacuum, then I downloaded the app that was recommended in the instructions, and it allowed me to set up the device straight from my phone, and that way I have all of the different settings that I can control to the vacuum. This smart robot vacuum also has a climbing feature, so it can climb up to 2 centimeters or 0.8 inches if you need it to go from the hardwood floors to the carpet, or if you need it to go from one room or another where there is some type of climb that it has to make. It can get in tight spaces or areas that are harder to vacuum, like for example underneath my console table, and it also has a special spot clean feature which I had just pressed, and it's just making sure that it's getting that area super clean. Once the spot clean is completed, which I had the setting on that, then I can just use the smart app feature and continue the cleaning. One feature that I do really like about this vacuum is that it does have adjustable suction. So whenever it is cleaning up the carpet or rug, then I like to put it on the strongest suction because I know that there's a lot of dog hair in there and I want to make sure that it gets to it. In a case for me where I'd want to use a lower section, maybe because I want it to be a little bit quieter and just doing a general clean. As I mentioned, this is also a dual mop, so you just add the attachment and you add a little bit of water in the canister, you attach it straight to the Robo vacuum, and it mops and vacuums at the same time. It has the capability to vacuum up larger homes and can run for almost 200 minutes, which is just over 3 hours, or equivalent to about 2,100 square feet. It does run out of charge before you are finished cleaning, then it will remember the spot that it last cleaned and just pick up from there.
The way you look at me is absent. It's like you're walking through a labyrinth. Just say what's going on.
It comes with a remote control, so you can actually control the settings of it, or you can use your app to control the direction that you want it to go. I really like having the stronger suction option for the carpet because I really enjoy those vacuum lines. This Roborock vacuum is something that I can just turn on and use daily, so I don't have to worry about the floors while I'm taking care of other tasks. You don't have to worry about emptying the dustbin that often because it's an extremely large dustbin and holds a lot of dust. You can just remove the filter and empty the dustbin, and the filter is also washable. I do have a discount code for all of you guys to use. It will be $50 off the Roborock E5 robot vacuum and mop, and the discount is good until August 15th, so make sure that you take advantage of this deal. And click on the link in my description box to get one of your own. You have now made it to part 2 of the video, and now that you are a little bit warmed up, let me take you to this disaster. So the first question I would wonder if I was looking at this as somebody else's car is, why the heck do you have so many toys in your car? And number 2 is, how did you let it get this bad? It's kind of funny because you'll notice in the front, like I don't have a lot of clutter, like the seat next to the passenger side seat and my seat is not bad. It's just the back, so basically I don't look back there because it's really bad. So every time that we leave for school in the morning, I feel like my daughters need to bring something with them in the car. It's kind of a way to like bribe them to get out the door and hurry up is, oh, well, can I bring my book, or can I bring my unicorn, or can I bring my baby? And I'm just like, yes, whatever, hurry up, let's go. Getting them out of the car is just as stressful, and I guess you can say I'm lazy. I don't go back and forth and make multiple trips to get everything that they brought from inside the car out of the car. I just bring their backpacks, the shoes that they throw on the floor, the blankets that they had brought. I bring all of that inside, and then everything else just becomes this mess. You see, I just found this cup underneath the seat and I'm like, I don't know how long it's been in there. Y'all, this is a warning. That is milk, and that is so disgusting. Like I said, I had no idea that that was even under the seat, and when you go this long without doing like these mass clean outs, then this is just the kind of stuff that you find. I'm really sorry if you were eating and watching this at the same time. But it is about 5 o'clock on, I want to say, a Tuesday, and the first thing I'm doing is just getting everything out of the car and seeing what surprises I find back there. So we have the WeatherTech mats in our car, and I do highly recommend them. I am struggling to get them out, so that's what I'm trying to do there. I'm trying to not have to pull the seat up and take the car seat out, because I have about, like, I want to guess 15 to 20 minutes before I have to go pick up the girls from school. So that's why I'm trying my hardest to just pull it through and not have to take the car seats out. So once I pulled the mats up, everything that was on the mat fell on to the carpet of the car floor. So that wasn't under the mats. That's just what fell out of them.
I was knocked down, heard the countdown through the haze, in the face of defeat, yeah. I was ruled out with no bailout, on my own, all alone, left to bleed out. But I rose up from the ground, just like I was spellbound. All the odds were against me, so I picked up the pace, and now I'm in the race. Give me some space.
I wish I could say I had all of the coolest, latest, trendiest car cleaning stuff, but I don't. I just have some dish soap that I'm using to hose down these mats with, and an old sponge. If I would have waited any longer to research and find the best car cleaning tools and all of the best mechanisms to do it, then I probably would have delayed this project another 6 months, let's be honest. So the best thing that I could do is just get it done. It doesn't have to be perfect, I just need to get it done.
So I've been told that I should fold and give in. I can't win in this game, no. But you can hear me laughing. I'm the new thing in this field. You should kneel instead of me now. Yeah, I rose up from the dead. Your words inside my head. All the odds were against me, but now I'll lead ahead with grace. I'm winning this race. Give me some space. I'm a movement and I ain't losing. Gonna go, 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 go. Like a bullet, don't take no bullet. You should know, no, no, no. I'm about to explode.
So I should probably give you guys a little bit of history on my car. I drive a 2012 Yukon Denali. We got it, I think it's been about 3 years. We purchased it from someone we knew, and it had really low mileage on it, and it was a good size for what we needed after we had Sailor. Does not have the full third row. I only have one seat. The seats were actually ruined when we bought it. So we also have the WeatherTech backing. We usually take that third row out and just have the full WeatherTech and use that as a trunk. Now, I'm not going to lie. Before this, I did drive a used BMW, which I absolutely loved. It had all the features and it was kept up really nice. And with a growing family, costs of daycare, and the opportunity to purchase this car, it just didn't make sense to keep my BMW. One of my reasons at the time for having a newer or more luxurious car was that my commute to work was between an hour to an hour and a half one way each day. If you're in the Houston area, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So if I was going to be in the car for 2 to 3 hours a day in my commute, I just wanted something nice to sit in. Now I ended up with this beauty. Even though the dashboard is cracked, there's a few stains on her. She gets me from point A to point B and gets the job done. After we took Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University course, which is a course about your finances and budgeting and saving money for your future, one of the things that he recommends is paying off your car and not having any type of debt opposed to your house. One of the things he also says is live like no one else right now so you can live like no one else later. Meaning, don't try and keep up with the Joneses. Don't try to impress your neighbor or impress anyone else with the things that you buy when you could be saving and investing or using it elsewhere. Now, could I be a whole lot better at budgeting and not spending money when someone shares an outfit or something like that? Yes, absolutely, but it's all about the baby steps. Now, I am very grateful to have this nice of a car, even though she is a little bit older. But my absolute dream car, which I hope to get one day, is a brand new Lincoln Navigator. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what your dream car is.
Feel your hands, the way you're touching me around my neck. Got chills down my back, you do it right. The way you're holding me, no, I don't want this moment to stop. No need.
Now, Chris is a much simpler guy. He drives a 2003 GMC truck. And let me just say, that does not always get us from point A to point B. Well, let me take that back. It does get us to point B, but let's just say that it takes a lot longer in case we are on the side of the road. But that hasn't happened in a while. I also wouldn't be surprised to find out that his wheels and tires cost more than the actual truck itself. But again, it gets us where we need to go most of the time, and it's his baby, so he'll never get rid of it.
It's all about us. There's a magic in your eyes, can't get enough. I can't get enough. Oh, it's all about us. It's all about us. It's all about us. It's all about us. Time to go home. Don't want this night to end. Yeah, about time we stop pretending. Come home with me. Let's write a history. Tonight I'll make you see. It's all about us. It's all about us. As we're dancing close together, making out. It's all about us. It's all about us. There's a magic in.
If you can't already tell, it's also been a while since I have cleaned the outside of our car. It just rains so much recently, and it's been very sporadic. So it may go like 2 days without raining, and then it will downpour for 5 minutes, and then it'll be shiny for the rest of the day. So I'm always say like, oh, I'll wait until I know that there's no rain in the forecast, and then you know how that goes. It just never gets done. Now, in this video, I do not clean the outside of the car. One, because I am exhausted by the end of this. I am sweating so bad. It's already taken me a few hours to go through the whole inside, and I just said to myself, I don't know if I will ever do my own car again, because that was a project. But hopefully I'll never let it get that bad either.
And that you miss me. It's always the same story with you, but I just cannot refuse you. I'm sad after this, I'm not alone. That you believe is right. Why am I so curious? So curious, so curious. your time. Weekends are passing by like everything is fine. I know this is so delusional. I have lost my grip.
So when we did buy the car, there were already a few stains on the carpet area. And I also mentioned that it didn't have a back seat. So I cannot remember if this stain was already there when we bought it or if it was something that spilt underneath the WeatherTech mats. But whenever we took out those WeatherTech mats, I noticed that there were several stains. So I'm using this carpet cleaner and try to scrub these stains out the best I can.
Why am I so curious? If I know that it's gonna end.
Like I said, I don't know what the stain is. It looks like it could be coffee or something, or how long it's been there. So for the amount of time that it's been on there, I think that it actually did a really good job. Later on, I'll put the WeatherTech mats back on and cover up that stain. This is closer to the back seat. The stain wasn't as bad, but using this carpet cleaner in it ended up getting out everything. So now you can barely see it.
Oh no, why do I love you? I'm recklessly drawn to you somehow, but you.
After it dried a little bit on the front of the car, I ended up going back through it one more time.
If I know that it's gonna end. So curious, so curious. So curious, so
So at this point in the journey project, it is like 95 degrees outside, and that is all sweat.
I could probably use some heartbreak to get moving. Tired of the way you let me down. You fill me up with broken promises, 'cause you never keep them. I'm so sick of the way.
So you can finally see that I am making progress, and this WeatherTech mat is specific for this car and this model. So if you are interested in getting new mats for your car, I highly recommend it. Chris and I both have them in both of our cars, and he bought them for me as a present one year, and it goes based on the car year, make, and model, and they are custom specific for that type of car. So here we have bucket seats opposed to the 3-seater, and they fit perfectly in that area. They're also really easy to clean, and they fit so much better when I can actually take the car seats out and lift the seats up. Mentioned earlier, I didn't have the full third row in the very back. The car didn't come with that. The seat was damaged whenever we bought the car, so that's why we don't have it. And we actually have a WeatherTech seat that goes in the very back. As you saw before, one of the main issues why I wasn't able to keep my car clean is because there's just so many toys. I saw that my sister had one of these car organizers, and it gave me the idea that I could just hook these on the seats, and then each of my daughters can pick out a few toys and books, and I could keep them in this organizer opposed to having them throw all of their toys on the ground. So this is the system that I'm using to prevent my car from going back to the way it was, and it is actually working very well. I got these organizers on Amazon. It came in a 2-pack, so it was 2 of those. I think it was about $20 or $21, and they are a lifesaver. So basically what I told the girls is that now that the car is cleaned, that they can only bring a couple books, 1 stuffed animal, and maybe 1 toy. And when they're done playing with that toy, then they need to make sure that it stays in the car organizer. And so far, they've both done an amazing job, and it is so much easier to maintain. Now we are on to taking apart these car seats. Car seats get so disgusting. I am not great at saying no food in the car. I typically will let them eat a little bit of breakfast in the car. If they need a snack, then I will give them a snack in the car. And this is what happens when you let that happen. So car seats are just a pain in itself to take apart. It takes so long to get everything off and washed and then put back on. So anyway, that's what we're trying to do. Take everything off and then deep clean the inside of that car seat. There are so many small little nooks and crannies in that car seat. I didn't want to just hose it off because what happens is water will get stuck in the base. So I just wanted to try and clean it and vacuum it up as best as I can. And I remember that whenever I first got my Bissell handheld steam cleaner, what I'm using there, somebody commented, I was using it on the sink, and it was the very first time I was using it, and I was saying, I don't know if this does a very good job. It's not really doing my sink very well. And then you guys started recommending other uses for it, so I started using it on the grout, and I said, oh, it does better. But then somebody goes, it's really good on car seats. So I remembered whenever I was vacuuming this out, so I grabbed it, and whoever recommended that to me, thank you so much. It actually did an amazing job getting all of the crumbs out of some of the really small cracks.
Whatever, and moving on to somebody else. 'Cause it's a bitter, bitter pill that I need to swallow still. Can't believe that this is real. To be going on without you gives me chills. It's a bitter pill. It's a bitter pill. Struggled with your patience, 'cause I was holding us back in every way. And now that I've learned the basics, my apologies won't change anything. Won't change anything. Apologies won't change anything.
I ended up getting this car seat 100 times cleaner than it was before, and I am so glad. We end up washing all of the covers for it, and then we put those back on the next day.
Swallow still. Can't believe that this is.
I'm going to finish picking up everything that was all over the garage, all the toys that I had taken out of the car. I am so exhausted. This probably took me a good 3 to 4 hours just to do the inside because it was such a massive project. Now, don't drop off just yet because I have some amazing before and afters in the next few minutes of this video. So I do hope that you'll stick around. If you're not already subscribed, then make sure you don't leave here without first subscribing to my channel. And if you liked the video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up. Now for the before and afters.
I can taste your words. I can taste your I can taste your words. I can taste your I can taste your words. I can taste your I can taste your words. I can taste your
We used to hang around town pretty late. I spent the week thinking about our next day. It was easier then, so much easier then. Or like that time I picked you up outside of school. You said, screw my dad, I make my own rules. It was easier then, so much easier then. Take me back to those easy summer days when we stopped at nothing, babe. Yeah, we stopped at nothing, baby. They couldn't take us, they couldn't change us, they couldn't catch us if they tried. Now we didn't care at all about winter or spring.
Hey guys, welcome to 2022. I hope more than anything that you had a wonderful new year, a Merry Christmas, and you are ready to jumpstart the year. I know that January can be a little bit depressing, or at least for me, because you take down all of your Christmas decorations. You are, full of cheese and food and desserts and everything you ate over the holidays. And there's not much to look forward to in January as far as like holidays or time off. But as they say, January is a big month to refresh and jumpstart and kind of start with this clean slate and, accomplish all of the things that you want to accomplish. As far as goals, I talked about goals so much in several of my other previous videos. So I'm going to obviously talk a little bit about goals and hopefully have you guys participate along in it as well. So this video was recorded right after Christmas, but I am doing the voiceover right before it's posted. So even if it seems a little bit later compared to all the other videos, the point of it is that it is still a complete disaster and it is still going to be motivational to both watch and listen to. So the key things that I focus on in this video are the kitchen, getting all of the dishes cleaned, getting everything on the kitchen counters cleaned up, and then, cleaning up some of, the sink and the stove and everything that we cooked on for the last 2 days. I'm hoping to get that picked up, as well as the complete disaster in the living room. I picked up, I want to say 2 times on Christmas Day, and then by the end of Christmas, the next day I was just like, I'm just going to leave it and pick it up later. I'm tired of cleaning up. So we're going to pick up the living room. I'm going to go in the bedroom, get the bedroom picked up. And then, with kids, I have 2 kids, a 4-year-old daughter and a 2.5-year-old daughter, and there is toys everywhere. So I plan to head upstairs. We'll pick up all of the toys in the living room, head upstairs, and try to do a little bit of a declutter and organize in the playroom with all of the new toys that they got. So before I can even start taking down Christmas decorations, I have to get the house in order. So that is my husband, Chris. He's going to be helping me a little bit get everything picked up. We had company over the last 2 days, and we hosted Christmas Eve and we hosted Christmas Day. So our house is just total wreck. But regardless of Christmas or not, it's just another Sunday cleaning day for us. But this time I'm just getting some help. If you're new here, welcome. I'd love to have you stick around by subscribing to my channel. I promise I deliver the best content that I absolutely can on a weekly basis. I put my heart and soul into it to try and provide you guys with not only cleaning motivation, but inspirational motivation to help you overall as a person. I've already mentioned before, I have 2 toddler girls, Sailor, who is 4, Savannah, who is 2.5. And I think my theme for my whole channel is just chaos, right? So there's just always chaos. There's always a mess to clean. And, more times than not, it's probably a disaster. But I do the best that I can, and that's all I encourage you to do as well. So let's go ahead and get this space picked up.
Every night I'm going on the grid, texting back, I want you, hit you up, I'm on the other side, I miss you. Take you off, I came here way too strong, cannot keep it low key. Got me drugged, your pheromones hit the roof, auto your taste. It's really a bad reception out there, where you heading? Why ain't gravity pulling? pulling you in closer to me. I've lost you.
So Chris is going to help me in the kitchen. He is doing some of the dishes while I am trying to clean up like the countertops and stuff. I don't like doing dishes. It's not my favorite chore or thing to clean. So I put him on the dishes and I was like, I'll just pick up the general kitchen area. I think our plan was that we were supposed to clean the whole inside, or at least the downstairs of the house together. And I think after we finished the kitchen area, then he like mysteriously went to clean like the garage, I guess. And I ended up just, finishing the rest of it. But leave me a comment down below. Do your spouses typically help you with a majority of the housework? Like, do y'all share it 50-50? Or do you do majority of it and then they help every once in a while? Or do you do like 100% of it and they typically don't help at all? Maybe they have different tasks that they do. Leave me a comment and let me know below. I actually received a question about this a long time ago, asking if my husband helps a lot, or like, do I typically do majority of it? I typically do majority of it. I have mentioned before that I'm not like obsessed with cleaning. I don't can't wait to go home and clean my house or anything like that. I find it as a chore, but I just try and find, ways to make it a little bit more enjoyable because that's just something I have to do. But typically I've always done most of the cleaning inside, and Chris is very much an outdoor person. Like, he will mow our yard, no joke, like every other day, because that's how much he loves doing it. And I'm like, our yard doesn't need to be mowed, the dishes need to be done, so come in here and help me do dishes, opposed to like doing everything outside. And I'm just going to be completely honest that for a while there, we used to fight a lot about cleaning tasks. Now, I'm not going to come on here and say that either of us are perfect, but the way that I felt at the time was that I just did majority of everything, and I, needed help and wanted help. I think there was times I probably didn't communicate that as well, but I had mentioned that like after I had Savannah, then I ended up getting some help. We got a maid and she was great, and everything, she did a lot of the deep cleaning. Obviously the day-to-day tasks, like I was still cleaning constantly, but it was a big help. And then, after the pandemic and everything happened, then is when I actually just started saying, I'm going to have to go back to doing all the cleaning. Savannah was a little bit older by then, and I decided to, create my channel and kind of create a different mindset around cleaning. So it's funny that I clean a lot more now, and my expectations have lowered a lot, meaning I don't expect the house to be clean all the time, and I'm totally fine with that, even though I clean it up a lot more now. And I'm better at communicating about it, and our dynamic is a lot different now. But feel free to leave me a comment down below letting me know what works best in your household.
Isn't this the good life? Sitting on the front porch, sipping on the rocks. Citrus in our beverages. Citrus in our beverages. Show only the good sides. Always pretty smiles are covering our faces. You know it is all lies. You know it is all lies. On and on it goes. Round and round the rodeo. Breathing out air for a minute. Taking my time to begin with. On and on it goes. Swinging down in life,
The corners of our sinks typically get all types of gunk and stuff in them. So typically I use a couple different products. I've used the Jaws kitchen cleaner. I use the pink stuff a lot. And then this time I'm just going to use Dawn dish soap. Someone recommended to me last time just putting the racks in the dishwasher, and I don't know why I ever thought about that. And whenever Chris was helping me, he's like, why don't we just put them in the dishwasher? And I'm like, one of my subscribers recommended that to me, and I don't know why I've never even thought about that. So so this time I'm just going to use the Dawn dish soap. I used that power spray. I forget what it's called, the Power Shot spray or whatever. And they have like these refill bottles that you can buy. When I very first tried this, I did not like the fresh scent. And then all of you guys recommended the apple scent to me. And I liked the apple scent a lot better. And then we ran out. And then Chris just filled it with regular Dawn soap that we had in the cabinet. And then put like a little bit of Dawn soap and then filled the rest with water. And it sprays completely fine. So instead of just buying the refill bottle, we just literally put some Dawn soap and water in there. And that's what I'm using here. And I think that this does clean it very well.
Put your rose-colored glasses on. What if we stay right here? Make everything disappear. Lay low in the beaching sun. Put your rose-colored glasses on. Yeah. Put your rose-colored glasses on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Isn't this a good life? Sitting on the front porch, sipping on the rocks. Citrus in our beverages. Citrus in our beverages. Show only the good sides. Always pretty smiles are covering her faces. You know it is all lies. You know it is all lies. Hey, would you rather stay right here? Make everything disappear. You play my favorite song. Put your rose-colored glasses on. What if we stay right here? Make everything disappear. Lay low in the beaching sun. Put your rose-colored glasses on.
So we have a ton of trash already over there in the corner that needs to be taken out. Like I said the day before, I cleaned up so much. I didn't film it or anything because it was just Christmas Day and we had a ton of people over. But throughout the day, I kind of put all of the girls' toys in a corner and they keep coming and opening up a new set of toys. And we are at the Barbie stage right now. And oh my gosh, what is Barbie thinking with all of the accessories? Like there is so many little accessories that come into each pack and I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? So that clear tray over there that I'm putting all of the stuff in is a little like organizer tray that I got from IKEA. I actually bought it a long time ago, meant to put it in one of the drawers, but I decided to use it for little toys. So I do not plan on keeping up with organizing Barbie accessories or any of the really small accessory toys. So my plan is just to dump anything that was an accessory into that tray, and then as Sailor's mainly the one that plays with it, as she goes and changes the shoes and does whatever, then she can just open that little box up and then that's where all of the stuff stays. They also got this Barbie, this Barbie closet that has so much stuff. And then like this Barbie storage house. So you can like unzip it and it creates like a thing for them to play with. So it's right there. But it also is like a Barbie storage. So that's where I plan on keeping all of the Barbies. And then all the accessories are going to go into that little bin. And that is as best as I'm going to be able to organize those toys. So with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, to me, it is just not worth it to go extreme organized. I know that it would like look so much cooler on video if I had all the shoes in one little bin and all the colors, you know, matched up and everything. With their play kitchen, I think last year I did that. I bought these little bins for the play kitchen and I tried to like do the home edit, the whole color coding in the rainbow, and then I tried to organize all the spoons in one little bin. And at the time the girls were 1 and 3 and I was like, this is way too much to maintain. Like I can't expect them to put everything back in the exact spot that it's supposed to be in as like a 1-year-old. So, I figured I'm just going to have everything kind of in one place. And then from there, it doesn't have to be super organized. And that's just for my sanity. And hopefully the Barbie stage doesn't last very long.
Club will go all night. I see you in the back, the mood is right. If I just had your number, I would let you know how about time we stop pretending. Come home with me.
So the vacuum that I'm using is the cordless Tinco. I also have a Dyson V7, I believe. So it's an older model, but the battery ran out. So that is my second Dyson where the battery charge just stopped working. On my old Dyson, I ordered like another battery on Amazon and it worked for a lot longer. And then this one, the battery ran out. I have had it for a couple of years, and I do like both. So I like this one because the Tinco one, I like the light because you can actually see the dirt that you're picking up with it. I think that's a really cool feature that it has. It's a little bit more affordable, and you can also adjust like the suction on it. You can do I typically have to use max vacuum, I feel like, whenever I use the vacuum. So that's the only cordless vacuum I have right now that works. And if you're not familiar with like cordless vacuums, they're great because you don't have to sweep everything up. I think they're good on rugs and like hardwood floors, or just hard like tile and stuff like that. For like if you want a lot of suction, then for me personally, I prefer the plug-in vacuums. I think that they just have a lot more power, especially on like carpeted areas. So for upstairs, a lot of the times you'll see me use my Shark vacuum, which is like a really old plug-in vacuum. And then downstairs, I typically only use my cordless vacuums. But we are moving on into our bedroom. The first thing that I'm doing is making the bed because I have so much laundry to do. Now, I will admit I am bad about making my bed every morning. So do you guys make your bed every morning? Are you really good about that? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. For me, I am really bad about making the bed every day, but for some reason, I like to make the bed before I do laundry because then I have like a clean area to fold clothes.
You held me back when I tried to move on from your life. So you stole my life with clarity. So hold me back, now you're here. Cause I'm mad, show no fear. Wanna let you know just how it felt. Oh no, don't you think we're good? There's no way we could be. No, oh no, I know the way you look at me, I know it too well. Now I'm bulletproof, you're my fire gun, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof, don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Cause I'm bulletproof. Yeah, I'm bulletproof. We've been up, we've been down, trying to figure things out. End up losing myself in it. But I'm done being done. Glad I end it all now. I won't ever turn it round again. Oh no.
So as I'm getting ready to do the laundry, I noticed that the inside of the washing machine seal is already getting pretty bad. It gets full of dog hair because just dog hair just gets everywhere. If you have a dog that sheds, then you probably understand that a little bit. I don't clean the inside of this good enough or often enough. So if you've seen some of my deep clean videos, that's typically when I do it. But since I had like the wipes right there, I was like, let me just go ahead and get this up because I can see it now. On my daughter's dress, they were outside, and that is like silly string, and it squirted all over the dress, and it kind of hardened because I waited a day before I got it out. So before I'm actually cleaning, or before I put it in the washing machine, I just decided to get some soap and try and rinse it out. That way it doesn't ruin that little dress.
Now I'm bulletproof, you're my fire gun, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof, don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Cause I'm bulletproof. Yeah, I'm bulletproof. Cause I'm bulletproof.
So as I finish up for this day and as I finish up all the laundry, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about your New Year's goals. So did you know that 70% of people actually do not write down their goals? And I was guilty of this for a long time, but the purpose of writing out your goals is so that you can Actually visualize it. It makes it come to life. I'm in the middle of reading this book called The Secret, and it talks about the main secret of why people accomplish things that they accomplish is because of the law of attraction. They actually visualize out what they want. They attract it in their life. They believe that it's theirs, and they make it happen for themselves. I think the best way to start this is actually writing it out. Now, I started goal setting on a weekly basis last year, and I never really had year-end goals, but this year I have categorized my goals into 3 categories and then also have some house goals that I want to accomplish. So I actually want you to get a pen and notepad or get your phone in your notes. And if you can, write these down with me. So the first category of goals that I set for myself is business goals. So before I get started with business goals, I have all of the toys in the living room and all of the toys on the stairs, and day 2 is where I'm actually going to start going through and decluttering all these toys. So as I bring everything upstairs and kind of go through this, let's go back to talking about our goals. So step 1 is business goals. So whether you are wanting to start a business in 2022, whether you want to start like a side gig, which is when I started YouTube as a side, it's kind of my side gig, or you want to expand in the business that you have now or in your career or in your job, then write down 3 very specific goals that you want to accomplish. Write down maybe it's a set number you want to make throughout the year. From these bigger goals is where whenever you do weekly goals or monthly goals, that's when you break them down even further. So next is writing down your personal goals. So personal goals for me is one big thing that I did this year was for my birthday and the last week of the year is I got a massage and then I got a facial, and I decided that this is something that I need to be doing for myself every single year. I always hesitated on spending money on myself, especially for like a service like that. And one thing that I'm going to work a lot on this year for me is health. So not just like eating healthy and stuff like that. It's more so like I need relaxation and I need like stress relief. So for me, that was one of my bigger goals. Also, lots of self-development. So reading at least 1 to 2 books per month. I use Audible to listen to all of my books. So continue with that goal. I want to become more generous as far as like financially giving more back and doing things like that. So these personal goals can be anything that you want to accomplish. Those were just some of my examples. Next, after your business goals and your personal goals, I want you to write down family goals. A lot of times when we're like so stuck in one thing, then like some of the other things kind of fall through the cracks. So for family goals, Chris and I never do date night anymore. It's like hardly ever. So, just doing date night once a month to get my kids in more extracurricular activities, to try and really cook dinner more. Now we'll get to organizing goals here in a minute after you saw that huge pile get dumped out. But also take vacations. I'm big on vacations, and that is what I work extra for. That's what I budget for. That's our time away from our house and away from work. So that's just one of my personal family goals. So I want you to write down specific family goals. If you want to go on vacation, write down where you want to go. What month do you want to go in? Writing it down, visually seeing it really helps make it happen. Now, the extra one that I put down on my goal list was house goals. Like, what do I want to accomplish within my house? And there's 3 main areas that I want to get done, and that is our closet. So I really want to redo, declutter, and even try and customize a closet that fits better with our needs, opposed to just like having everything just everywhere. The next thing is my office. My office I do not use. I use the dining room as my office because my office is so cluttered. But I hope to finish that project out sometime this year. And then, work on the girls' rooms a little bit more. So if you are open to it, write down some of your goals down below. That way we can all kind of encourage each other to jumpstart this year and get some of those things accomplished.
This is the part where I go and you wet in the rain. I know the things that I've done isn't really what you call great. This is the part where you cry, 'cause you won't see me again. And all the things that I've done isn't really what you call great. I can't breathe, I can't hear.
So all of these toys that you're seeing are pretty much new. This is a big, ginormous Barbie castle type thing that my parents got the girls for Christmas. And then we got a lot of Barbie accessories. And like I already said before, just so much Barbie stuff. So I am going through everything in the brown bags. I am actually going to go ahead and donate and declutter. And then I have trash bags. So if anything is broken or I can't find the pieces to it, then I'm also going to throw some of that stuff away. So I have the big Barbie house kind of over towards the window. And now, since those are going to be the main toys that the girls play with, then again, I'm going through all the accessories and stuff like that and trying to organize some of that stuff. I did receive a question from a subscriber, I think about a week or so ago, and they asked if they had, or if I had any suggestions on organizing bins or baskets or organizing gear if they are in a really small space and on a budget. So my favorite budget organizing stuff is going to be stuff from IKEA. If you notice the little rack in the back with all of their toys in it, it kind of folds out and there's little baskets in it. I got that from IKEA for, I want to say it was around $50 or so, but I typically use those drawers and I switch out some of the dolls and jewelry and stuff like that. If you want something more like bookshelfy things like what I'm actually working in there, then that is from Target. And I know that was, I want to say like $50 or $60 as well. And they have bigger ones, and IKEA has massive ones that are pretty affordable, especially depending on how many cubby holes you want. I used to have bins in there or baskets in there where you couldn't see what was in there. So but what happened was the girls just started throwing random toys in there, and then it would just become a bottomless pit and you couldn't really see what the toys were. So that is later on when I swapped them out into those clear bins. Those clear bins you can pretty much find anywhere. All of the ones I have are from Target because I need ones that latch. I do not like the ones that don't latch. I don't think IKEA has ones that latch. I know that I have bought some from there. I think and they're only like $1 or maybe $2 or so, but because they don't have the latch, I don't like them because I don't know. I just feel like it's more secure when there's a latch on there. So typically all of those are either from Target or Walmart, and they're pretty affordable. Now, I don't have a lot of stuff from Dollar Tree. So a lot of people recommend Dollar Tree. I have not been super successful in finding really sturdy bins that I like, that are clear, that are like the aesthetic that I'm going for from Dollar Tree. But I also haven't been there a lot. And I'm sure there's some Dollar Trees around here, but nothing against Dollar Tree. I think that's a good place to look if you can find good stuff. I just personally haven't found or looked enough and found like the exact things that I'm looking for. So that is the basket thing that I'm talking about. That is from IKEA. And another option that I get, like maybe some bigger baskets, is from Home Goods. But I've seen some at like if you go to like TJ Maxx or Marshall's, you can find things similar to that as well. So that organizing basket that is right there that I keep talking about, I know that there's a similar one, or there used to be a similar one at the Container Store. And this one from IKEA is a lot cheaper. IKEA does have a ton of good organizing stuff that is budget friendly and is always kind of my first go-to to look around at organizing products before looking elsewhere. And the only other organizing type thing that I have in the room is the art cart, which you can get those carts anywhere. I have one in my bedroom that has 4 tiers on it, and that one was from Amazon. The white one that I have there that has 3 trays on it is also from IKEA. I want to say it was $29.99, and this is basically what I use to do all the artwork. Both of those white baskets, I really like the quality of them. Those were both also from IKEA. I want to say for a couple dollars. I have matching ones in my pantry that are a lot bigger that I store like the bread and stuff in as well. So again, I am kind of a big fan of IKEA. I think that for the most part, the quality is decent, and I haven't really had too much trouble with it.
Don't you wanna have some fun? Just make it go away. Can't take another day. Yeah, this baby said that they don't got a future like that. It hurts, so giving something worse to pass the time. Don't you wanna have fun? Fool around with someone. Don't you wanna have fun? Never mind my dumb heart. It needs a little kickstart. 'Cause don't you wanna have fun?
The last thing that I'm going to go ahead and do in this playroom is vacuum. I know I said I typically use my Shark vacuum upstairs, and I really do. I promise I do. I guess I just didn't want to pull it out. So this time I am using the Tenco cordless vacuum on the upstairs.
My past life, having dreams in a dream, I wonder why I carried on with the things that made you lose your mind. There's no way I can.
Since I did just do a ton of laundry, then the last thing I'm doing is going through clothes. I also got the girls some more winter clothes for Christmas. So I'm going through some of the clothes. I'm going to hang up some stuff and kind of go through it a little bit.
Why won't you follow me home? I know I can't make you mine. Yes, I ran out of time. There's no hope for me.
I think it's been a while since I've talked about organizing bins. So in their dressers, I decided to do, I think my very first big project of last year, or maybe it was at the end of 2020, was I organized all of the clothes in both of my daughter's rooms by getting these drawer organizer containers, those bins, kind of like what you see there. And then I really started using KonMari method to fold all of their clothes. So I've been doing that for over a year, and it is game changer if you don't already use that method. I was kind of late to the KonMari game until I just took the leap of faith and was like, I'm going to keep it up and I'm going to organize it and keep it organized. So I've been very good about keeping up with their clothes, as well as trying to keep up with my clothes. So all of those organizing bins in the dresser are from either IKEA or Amazon. But I am going to finish up here, so please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.